Hello and welcome to Tapping Tips. My name's Katie Walker. I'm an emotional freedom techniques trainer, mentor, and practitioner, also known as EFT tapping. And each week I like to be able to share with you a simple way of introducing or bringing EFT into your world, just to help manage things with a little bit more ease and to feel a little calmer, to manage those stressful situations, just so you can see that how easy it is to apply it yourself, because it is a self-applied stress management tool. And so I want to be able to show you how you can use that. I caveat that with, when you know there's a pattern, programming, known or suspected trauma, somewhere, something that just keeps showing up that you're like, oh, I don't think I can do this myself, or this feels too hard. You'll know because you just keep repeating it, or you feel that energy of this just feels too hard. Reach out to someone who can help you. And if I'm not that person, which I totally get and appreciate, we need to feel like there's a connection. But I have amazing EFT practitioners that I can refer you through to, some incredible colleagues who might be more suited to you. Otherwise, I could be a gal and help you through it. So I did just want to show you, or not show you, show you, but also just share with you a situation that can happen daily, when we see correspondence from someone, a social media post that might trigger us. And I think I may have done something similar just recently. But I saw something just the other day on LinkedIn, and this female manager was sharing her opinion about something. She did a post and just shared her thoughts, and it obviously affected a few people. And so, you know, when we are putting stuff out there, we are creating that opportunity for a conversation, a nice little conversation, my opinion, your opinion, which I think is fantastic. I think that is fantastic. But I also feel that how we respond and acknowledge someone else needs to be it needs to be considered. So and the reason I'm saying this is because some of the responses were like being back in primary school and really nasty and bitchy. And then the woman who posted it responded back, basically giving them the F you response. But it just went back and forth, and then other people were jumping in, and it felt like this schoolyard situation playing out in a platform. Well, I think any platform, we need to be really thoughtful about how we're responding, but a professional business platform where it just felt like a bitch fest. And you could see people's responses were being triggered by something. It was either a word or, you know, it wasn't, the sentiment of her post was fairly benign. It was just an opinion. But whoever was reading that coming from their lens and their perception, and it just opened up a massive can of worms. And I could just see this, and I was watching, and I was like, oh my God. I actually had to stop reading it because it was like a train wreck. But I noticed what was showing up for me in terms of how I was feeling activated by reading this and starting to go, oh, ouch, oh, ah. And so I didn't actually tap in that moment. I just really did some grounding. I was feeling my feet, and just knowing that this was something that was going on outside of my world, wasn't affecting me, but it was just not a nice back and forth. So in that moment, what the person that received the message the way they received it, who then responded back with a big old slap across the face, they may think that's okay, and that is okay. But if you're noticing that you want to be able to respond to a post, let's just keep it to the LinkedIn post. You want to respond with your opinion back, but not be nasty about it, not come from that place of F you, that's bullshit, rah, 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 still managing your emotion, then we can use tapping around this. So how we could apply that from the other day with that person who's reading it going, bullshit, that's nasty, I don't believe that, that's crap, whatever they were seeing from that, this is how we roll. So we're noticing, what is the emotion? What is the emotion? That's the starting piece. What is the emotion that's showing up in the here and now when we're reading that thing? Let's say anger. Rage could have even been happening right then, there and then. But we'll just talk anger. So then we rate it, remember, 0 to 10. We want to know, is the tapping working? 0 to 10 on the emotion. 8 out of 10. Anger is the emotion. Are we feeling that anywhere in our body? Really take that moment to become more aware of what's going on internally. Are you noticing it showing up somewhere? Showing up in my chest or my throat? Thinking about reading that post. And if it's more specific, that word that they used. Is it the fact that they use caps on particular words? Is it the sentiment of the post? Whatever it is about what you've just seen, but it's making you feel angry. Because when we can calm that part of us, the amygdala, send that calming signal down to the amygdala saying, it's okay, you're not being attacked, nothing's going on, you are safe, calm, 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 you can then sit there and that part of your brain, that logical, rational part of your brain can help you, that executive part of the brain can help you to respond in a way that's going to be constructive and not elicit another negative response from that person who's then going to go, you're judging me, you're being nasty to me, I'm going to judge you back and I'm going to be a bitch back, or however it was rolling. But it was a shit fight, let me just say. And I've noticed that I've sworn a little bit over this in this one, so I do apologize. But you get my gist. If we can calm ourselves and respond the way we want to, then they will receive it differently. The energy behind it will be different, and it could just be a really beautiful flow of conversation, communication, and a great outcome rather than what it was, which was not great at all. Lots of people jumped on board. Lots of people were getting involved, and it just wasn't nice. And what was the outcome of that? Her message was lost. Other messages came in that were probably lost. It all got very messy and blurry. So let's give it a go. So we're saying the setup statement, which is on the side of the hand between the wrist and the pinky, that fleshy part of the side of the hand. And this is where we're stating the emotion that's going on, where it's showing up in the body, if it's showing up in the body, and what it's about. And even though that's happening, in this moment, we can still accept ourselves, or that's just how we're feeling. We're going to say a statement of acceptance at the end of that. So even though I feel this anger, and I feel it in my chest, when I think about that LinkedIn post and what that person has written, totally disagree with it. It makes me feel angry. I'm just taking it from the perspective of that person who responded, I can still accept myself. Well, this is just how I feel at the moment, or I deeply and completely accept myself. And even though I feel this anger in my chest, just thinking about what that person wrote in that LinkedIn post. I don't know what they're talking about. That's crazy words. Makes me feel angry. But I can still deeply and completely accept myself. And even though I feel this anger in my chest, just thinking about what that post said, I have no idea. That was absolutely ludicrous. What were they thinking? That makes me feel really angry. But I can still deeply and completely accept myself. So we've said that 3 times, and then we go to the top of their head. And this is where we are repeating the emotion, this anger. Start of the eyebrow, this anger. Side of the eye, this anger. Under the eye, this anger in my chest. Under the nose, this anger. Under the lip, this anger. Collarbone, this anger. Under the arm, this anger. Okay. Then we come back to the side of the hand and we think about the post. What is it still anger that I'm feeling? 0 to 10. Yes or no? Maybe it's still anger. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's confusion. Maybe it's frustration, irritation. Has the emotion changed? Has the emotion changed? If it's still anger, that's all you're going to say. Is it still in your chest? Perfect. You're going to repeat the same thing. Are you noticing that it is, again, getting more specific about the words? Is it different symbols she or he has used? Is it, again, like one word, or what is it? What is it that is specifically making you feel angry about that post? Then you're just going to repeat it. And what we're trying to do is get it down to 2 or below, ideally 0, but just follow that one thing. So if it's gone from anger to irritation, rate it 0 to 10 on irritation. Is the irritation showing up somewhere in your body? Throat, chest, stomach, solar plexus. Is it showing up? What are you irritated about by that post, by that one thing? Don't start going off in all sorts of directions. Just keep it to that post that you saw that initially made you feel angry. Get all the emotions down. So you can then respond from a considered, constructive perspective that's still your opinion, but doesn't have the response that could elicit a trigger back. If you're just saying, yep, really appreciate your words, this is how I feel, or this is what I'm thinking, or had you thought of, I'm just curious why you're thinking that way. This is great conversation. You can do it in so many other ways rather than that is bullshit, X, Y, Z, expletives, being nasty, nasty, nasty. We are entitled to our opinion, but we can do it in a way that doesn't create angst and nastiness and horrible. There is so much going on in the world. We do not need to add to that by having a nasty conversation. When someone is doing their best, they're showing up, at least they're having an opinion about something that they feel passionately about. They're having an opinion, then respect that. Notice what's showing up for you. If you are feeling triggered by it, tap that down so you then can respond from a really calm, neutral place, not one of rage, anger, hate. We don't want that. There's too much going on in this world to add to that. So let's just be really considerate of each other. And it doesn't have to be that way. So if you found this useful, I hope you have, rinse and repeat, go back to the beginning. You could probably do it on a number of different things. It doesn't just have to be a LinkedIn post. It could be a Facebook post. It could be an email from a friend, family, text message. Same thing applies. What is it that is about that thing that you're looking at that's making you feel a certain emotion? Tap, 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 then respond the way you want to. So respond from your true, authentic self rather than from this emotional, triggered place where you probably will regret it and it's probably going to make things worse. Always know that you can tap down to feel calmer, to then show up and do and be and behave in a way that is aligned to who you are and how you want to. So if you want to know more, reach out to www.katywalkereft.com or send me a message, hello@katywalkereft.com. I hope this has been useful and I will speak to you soon. Ciao, ciao.